You live alone. You know every inch of your home, every sound, every smell, every detail. So, tell me, what would you do if you started finding someone else here? In your shower, in your bed, in your locked apartment for months. And what would you do if you come home one morning to find your door unlocked, your shower wet, and your neighbor walking down the stairs with your shampoo in her hair? Ryan is in his mid-20s. He lives alone on the top floor of his building, 5th floor, one apartment per level, nobody above him. He's had short hair for a decade, an inch at home, but starting in January, he began finding long hair everywhere. Brunette, 5, 6 inches, sometimes longer, on the bathroom floor, in the shower drain, in his cupboard, in his kitchen, on his sofa, in his bed. He had been single since November. His ex had black hair. These were light brunette, and they kept appearing in the shower, where water hits the walls 5 times a week. They weren't being carried in. They were being left. He told himself it was nothing. People carry hairs on their clothes from the gym, from the bus. It's nothing. He was wrong. One morning in April, Ryan finished his early gym session. Got a call, no work today. He walked home happy, taking the stairs and instead the elevator. As he turned the corner from the 4th floor to the 5th, he saw her, his neighbor, from the 3rd floor, coming down the stairs. They had never spoken. He knew her face from passing in the hallway. Her parents, he knew a little better, friendly people, normal family. He gave a confused hello. She gave a silent hey, and brushed right past him. That is when it hit him. The smell. His shampoo. He turned and looked at her hair as she descended the stairs. It was wet, not damp, not styled, wet, fresh out of a shower. 60 seconds ago, wet. He stood outside his door for 2 full minutes, turned his key. The door opened without unlocking. He always double lock always. He ran to the bathroom. The shower was wet. He hadn't showered since the morning before. Ryan went back downstairs, knocked on her door. She answered with the chain on, half her face visible through the gap. Were you inside my apartment? A pause. I just had to get something. It won't happen again. Door closed. That was it. No explanation. No apology. No eye contact. Just a door closing on 5 months of unanswered questions. Ryan changed his lock that week, installed a motion camera above his door, and started thinking back. January, that was his earliest memory of finding the hair. She had been coming into his home for at least 4 months, using his shower, eating his food, sleeping in his bed, while he was at work. But the question that kept him awake at night wasn't how. It was this: how did she always know when to leave? Ryan had a cousin whose husband was a police officer. He went to him directly, gave his statement, shared the dates. The officer found the hair samples still in the apartment, bagged them as evidence. A few days later, 2 officers knocked on the family's door on a Sunday. They knew both Bernice would be home. She confessed immediately, broke down in tears the moment they mentioned the word breaking and entering, and then the answers came. How did she get in? She called a locksmith, the same one her family had used years before. He recognized the family name, didn't check which floor, removed the barrel, read the code, made a full set of key. Both locks, different brands, didn't matter. She had a key to his home for 5 months. Why his apartment? She had younger siblings at home. Her mother tutored students there. The house was never quiet, never hers. She needed somewhere to study, somewhere to breathe, and his schedule was predictable. Gym at 6, work at 9, home at 5. That gave her 11 hours. But how did she know when to leave on the day he come home early? This is where it gets dark. His gym had an app. Anyone could download it. It showed live occupancy of every branch. She would check it each morning. When the number went up by 1 around 6 a.m. and she heard the elevator from 3 floors below, she knew the apartment was empty. But that still didn't explain the morning. The morning he came home early. The morning she almost didn't make it out in time. She had placed an AirTag under his car. She saw him leave the gym on the app, so his car hadn't moved, connected the dots, and run. She heard him on the stairs, didn't have time to lock the door behind her, walked it right past him. His shampoo is still in her hair. For 5 months, someone had been living inside his life, using his shower, eating his food, sleeping in his bed, wearing his towels, connected to his Wi-Fi, tracking his car, and he never knew. Ryan didn't press charges. The family apologized. The father knocked on his door in person. She hasn't left her room in days. But here's what Ryan said that stayed with me. It felt like I had been a parasite host and somehow never noticed until it was over. He still lives in that apartment. He still takes the elevator now. He still avoids the 3rd floor. And every morning when he knocks his Wi-Fi devices, he counts them one by one, just to make sure. Because the scariest thing about this story isn't what she did, it's how long she did it, and how easily she could have kept going forever. Check your Wi-Fi devices tonight. Count the names you don't recognize, and ask yourself, do you really know who's been in your home? Subscribe to Cross the Echoes. New story tomorrow. I'll see you in the shadows.